All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to 2019. I have just got back from Utah. I'm a little tired and I wouldn't say jet lagged. Traveling was brutal yesterday. The weather was really bad. My rental car wouldn't start, and then I got to the airport and my flight was delayed, and it just was a big whole thing. But I only mention that because it's been a tough couple of months for me. As many of you know, my grandfather passed away right before Thanksgiving, and we couldn't have his memorial here in San Diego because they didn't really have any friends here. They're from Utah, and they had some friends here, but they outlived all of them. My grandmother was 100 when she died, and my grandfather was 101. So we went up to Utah, and we had the memorial this last weekend. And I just really tell you that to as a way to just kind of explain where I've been. For those of you guys who are in my challenge group, and for those of you guys that I mentor that I haven't maybe had the time to spend that normally I would really dedicate to, that's really why. It's just been a tough couple of months, and it just needed some closure. And it was a really great, it turned out to be, I was kind of dreading it, and it turned out to be really fantastic. I got to hear all these great stories about this guy who just was a huge lion in my life. And so it was really neat, and I feel really good about it now, and I'm ready to get back to work. I'm excited. So today, we're going to talk a little bit about 2019 reward programs. These are things like our own retreat, like the Success Club trip, and like the Road to Elite. The Road to Elite is really what I'm going to focus on. Don't tune out here because the Road to Elite has been expanded to have multiple tiers. And so it's not just Elite anymore. There are 4 different levels that are potential to reach. And so I want to cover those and kind of go through it. So I have a little slideshow here, which is going to take me a second to get going. But let me get that going. All right. Don't start at the start. Sorry. I had that teed up, but I was rehearsing. All right, so hey, here we are, 2019 preview and rewards. One thing I just wanted to back up, Monica and I kind of went through this in a previous call about the calendar for this year. The reason I'm sort of showing you this sort of January through July thing is because as we go through this, if you're starting to feel overwhelmed, I'm going to talk to you about how to plan your year out for these things at the end of the call. But I want you to understand there are so many opportunities just here in the first 2 quarters. Okay, the Transform 20 launch, we're going to have time to do a second Transform 20 group. So that's going to be a great opportunity to sort of scoop people up who maybe got left behind, or maybe they were like, oh, I don't need to work out at home, I'll join a gym. And then how did that work out? Obviously not well. Now they come in to us. Then the Portion Fix, the relaunch of 21 Day Fix with the live workouts. There's going to be some new consumables that are coming along. There's going to be lots of opportunities. One of the keys for you is to make sure you're capitalizing on those things. Don't miss the opportunities when they are presented by corporate, because they just make things easier, right? It's just everybody's rowing in the same direction. You kind of get to catch that wave. So I want to just remind you of the calendar here as we get going. The next thing, hey, advanced slide. There we go. The Success Club trip. I don't know. I don't know. It was really funny. Yesterday, I decided I was in the airport, and I was like, I saw Carl's call on the national call, and I was like, I'm going to do this 2019 reward thing. And I was like, I'm going to talk about the Elite program. And I got so focused on the Elite program, I forgot that I have no idea what the Success Club trip is. But if you go to Super Saturday, you can learn all about that. Sorry, somebody was sending me a text. Hopefully it's not urgent. Yes. That's what you need to do, is you need to get to Super Saturday, find out the information about the Success Club trip. It's a major motivator. And if you're really trying to build a team here, one of the best things you can do is to get people informed and engaged, right? With where the trip is, what the requirements are. I don't know if they're going to change it substantially this year. I haven't really heard any details about it, which leads me to believe they're not going to change it a whole lot. You're going to be earning trip dollars throughout the year for hitting different sales goals, et cetera, et cetera. Success Club being the major one, since it's the Success Club trip. But we'll talk about that one when we have our details. So stay tuned for that. Second thing, I want to just, again, remind you from the last call we did, our retreat qualifications. They're a little bit different than the Road to Elite. And I like that we're focused on something different, because it's going to give you multiple things to kind of shoot for and different goals. that you can have. And there are some people who are going to achieve maybe the team builder level, and they're not going to qualify for the retreat. I find that unlikely, honestly, because I think if you hit either of those, any of these Road to Elite milestones, probably also going to qualify for our retreat. So it's going to be a good year for you if you just kind of set your goals on these different things. And so let's talk a little bit about the Road to Elite. So I mentioned there's 4 milestones in the program: team builder, team leader, premier leader, and elite leader. On the side here, you see this trophy. Here's how this works, okay? When you hit the team builder requirement, they're gonna send you the team builder trophy, all right? And it's like a stackable little thing. So if you're a premier coach, for example, you're also a team leader and a team builder. You'll hit those requirements as the year progresses. So it's not the sort of thing, sorry, I'm just gonna turn this little space heater off. It's not the sort of thing that you're gonna wait till the end of the year to find out if you're a team builder. Now, maybe you will if that's kind of, it kind of comes down to the wire for you. But let's say in, I don't know, the first quarter, you hit the team builder requirements, which some people on our team are gonna do, because some people on our team are really, it's just a matter of kind of continuing to do what they're doing, and they're gonna hit that requirement. They're going to send you that team builder trophy. You're now a team builder for 2020. Why 2020? Because that's the year you're going to get recognized, right? It's your activity in 2019 makes you a 2020 coach. So I guess I should start off by clarifying that. Same thing with team leader. If you hit that team leader in second or third quarter, let's say your goal is premier, that's probably where you need to be, quite honestly, we'll talk about goals at the end. But they're going to send you that team leader trophy. You'll be a 2020 team leader. Same thing with premier, same thing with elite. The one I don't know exactly is whether they're going to wait until the very end of the year to recognize the elite coaches, or let's say you hit all the requirements in I don't know, November, you just get the trophy and boom, you're a coach. I don't know. I'm not sure how they're going to announce that. Let's worry about that one later. Let's get into the requirements. There's 4 areas. There's 4 areas: your personal rank, the leadership points that you accumulate, the status of your personally sponsored coaches, and weak leg volume. These 4 areas. We're going to start with rank, and I'm going to kind of go through this. By the way, these are screenshots from a presentation that Beachbody did. I thought instead of just putting that up in the group, I would go through it with you, and that way I can answer questions and just kind of be here to answer some questions and hopefully engage you a little bit more, give you some thoughts on how to get there, which I think they sort of left out. Okay. Again, why it matters, blah, 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 blah. One thing I do think is a little bit of a just not the correct focus. Let me put it that way. Okay. Is this thing about long-term growth, stability of a coach's business and volume directly impacted by their personal coach's ability? Yes and no. Think about it this way. Let's say you're a diamond coach. If you're a diamond coach, you sponsored at least 2 emerald coaches. All right. The people that are under those emerald coaches are not your personally sponsored coaches. However, they do impact the stability of your business. They do impact the team volume that you're able to generate. And we're going to talk about volume later. So if you're a little bit confused by that, don't be. What I'm saying here is don't get too wrapped up in your personally sponsored coaches. They can get you elite. They can get you points. The leadership points is what we're calling them. They can get you those points, and they're very valuable. And certainly they're going to be the cornerstone of your business. But when you see that you have people who are underneath you that are doing really well, you support those people. I just need to make that 100% clear. Don't get so laser focused on your personally sponsored coaches that that's all that matters. I've seen a lot of coaches in the other, the larger Team Beachbody as it is, do that. and it's a real mistake. If you have people who are being productive, you work with them whether they're personally sponsored or not. I just wanted to say that really quickly. So here's the key that you need to know. These are the different ranks you're going to need to hit. And as you can see, we got a lot of room off here it's my right. This is going to fill in with all the requirements as this slide kind of progresses. But here we go. Team builder, you need to be a diamond coach. Okay. Now, if you're a diamond coach in 1 week or July and August, guess what? You also qualify for our retreat. Hey, there's a little bit of overlap here. Okay. So to be a team leader, you need to be a 1-star, meaning that you have a personally sponsored coach who is a diamond coach. One thing we're going to talk a little bit about is new diamonds. here, when we're talking about rank, this is your lifetime rank. So if you're a 1-star right now, you don't need to, if you're a diamond right now and you get back to 1-star, that's fine. It's your sort of lifetime rank, if that makes sense. Hopefully it will. For Premier, you need to be a 2-star. Okay. One of the cool things about 2-star, and if you're really going to go get it in this business, you need to get to 2-star because you get to open a second business center. What that essentially means is you get to sponsor yourself. Think about this really quickly. Who's working harder on your team than you? The answer for me, for the most part, has been no one, right? Until we start to get people like Cindy. But when I was young in this business, I was like, wow, the best way to progress my business is to sponsor myself because I'm the hardest working guy in the organization. And I say guy, I mean me and Monica. And so that was really our philosophy. And we have 5 different business centers now because we just kept hitting 2-star. Right? And then opening another business center and then hit 2-star and open another business center. That's a very effective strategy to build this business. It also gives you multiple streams of income. Elite, you got to be a 5-star or above. So that's lifetime 5-star. Again, this is why some people on our team are really eligible for Elite earlier because there are lifetime 5-stars, right? And you're going to have to be, I'm sorry, not lifetime. You have to be a 5-star or a 2-star or a 1-star or a diamond actually for 6 consecutive weeks during 2019 or any week in December. Okay, so again, this is one of those things at the end of the year, we're gonna see a lot of people push to maybe get to 1-star to hit the team leader requirements, or maybe just get to diamond to hit the team builder requirements. And you just gotta hold it for 1 week in December. It says bonus week, that's just a week. Any week in December or 6 consecutive weeks throughout the year. Now, if you're a diamond, you can hold that for 6 weeks, okay? 1-star becomes a little bit trickier, but again, it's doable if you're helping the people below you. This is a great example of where you need to work deep in your organization, right? In order to hold 1-star, what that means is that you have a personally sponsored diamond coach, which means they have personally sponsored at least 2 emeralds. These 2 emeralds are not your personally sponsored coaches, yet they're totally vital to your success and you holding that rank. You need to get to know those people. You need to work with the people underneath you who are beyond your personally sponsored level, okay? And it probably even goes down deeper than that. When I was going for Elite, I had a map of every single diamond. And I made sure that I knew every single coach who was a working coach. If it was just a discount person, I didn't worry too much about that because they're not into this business anyway. But anybody who said, I want to do this thing, I knew them. And as many of you guys know, I get to know most of you. And it's the same reason. It's the same logic. I need to know and help all the people who are productive within the business. Okay. So those are the requirements. And that's why I think it's important. Next thing, leadership points. Now, this is the point where a lot of people just go, and their heads kind of start to spin. The eyes go around like a slot machine. I'm going to break this down for you. I'm going to try and make it easy. My main piece of advice is just get to work, okay? Do not get wrapped up in the nitty-gritty of what these points are about. What I'm going to tell you to do at the end of this call is set some first quarter goals. At the end of the first quarter, we're going to see how the points break down. And I can sit down. I'm more than happy to sit down with anybody who's going for this and just go through your points and say, okay, here's your strong point. Here's your weak point. Right? Capitalize on the strengths, work on your weaknesses, and we can kind of go through it. And the way your business is growing will sort of be revealed by the way these points arrive. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Let's go through them. The first one, acquisition personal volume, APV. All right, you get 1 leadership point for every 500 points combined total. There's a lot of gobbledygook on this slide. I'm going to make this really, really simple. Okay. Your 2019 customers. A 2019 customer is somebody who's a brand new customer in 2019 or somebody that maybe you signed up as a customer before, but they never bought anything. Their first purchase is in 2019. So again, if you sold a challenge pack in December and the Shakeology, the residual Shakeology hits here in January, that's not a 2019 customer. But if you signed up a customer in December and they didn't buy anything, now they buy something in January, that is a 2019 customer. So hopefully that makes sense. So every time your 2019 customers and your 2019 personally sponsored coaches, this is pretty simple. If they signed up to be a coach on your team with you in 2019, then they're a personally sponsored 2019 coaches. Everything these people buy, everything goes into a bucket. combined bucket between 2019 customers and 2019 coaches. All goes into a bucket. Every time there's 500 points, you get a leadership point. It's just that simple. So you can kind of see the math here on the side. It's like, oh, January, yeah, you only had 405 points. So you didn't get an elite point in January, or a leadership point. Sorry, they changed the nomenclature, so I'm gonna have to get used to that. You didn't get a leadership point in January, but that point, the 405 is still in the bucket. It doesn't just go away. It's still there in the bucket. So then in February, you added some Shakeology sales, 2 Shakeology sales in this case. That adds up to 585. Hey, guess what? That's 500 that comes out of the bucket, and you get a leadership point for that. And you can kind of see how it goes. Here's what's important about APV. It builds, okay? So don't look at this thing in January and go, I didn't get any APV points. I suck. This is over. That's not how this works. Here's why. Let's say here it was January 8th today, I think. Pretty sure. My head's a little spinny, but I'm pretty sure it's January 8th. Let's say you signed up no coaches and 3 customers. Okay, now depending on what they buy, that might be enough to get you a 500 point chunk to come out of the bucket. But what's this gonna look like in December, November, right? In November, you're gonna have maybe 10 coaches and 30, 40, 50 customers, right? There's a lot more points going into the bucket at that point because you just have more people. APV builds, okay? So don't freak out about that. It's one of those things that you're gonna see towards the end of the year. It grows and grows and grows, as long as you're focused on continuing to add customers and coaches to your team, right? But I really wanna make this point because this is super important. I've talked to so many people over the years after they added this requirement, and they're like, wow, I'm just never gonna get there because I don't have the points. Understand that this is about building, and you keep filling the bucket and filling the bucket, and you'll get more and more multiples of 500. And that's really been true since they added this requirement. As I look at our elite points, it always just stacks up. And so I'm going to help you set some goals in this area, but don't get too lofty is what I'm going to say, and so we'll kind of go through that in a minute. Okay, next way to get leadership points is Success Club. This is pretty simple. Now we're going to look at 2018 and 2019 coaches. Okay, so it's 2018 and 19, which is, I think, really smart the way they did that. This is really simple. If one of your 2018 or 19 personally sponsored coaches hits Success Club, you get a point. If you also hit Success Club, it's doubled. Okay, so make Success Club, help your PS coaches from this year and last year make Success Club. You can see this sort of thing here, right? You have 2 people who hit it in January, you made it 2, that's 4 points. If you had 3 people hit Success Club from, again, 2019, 2018, then you would get 6 points if you hit Success Club. If you don't hit Success Club, you only get 3, right? So you double your points here. This is a great way to not only rack up points, but if your personally sponsored coaches are hitting Success Club, that means they're making sales, which is going to help you in the volume requirements that we're going to talk about in a minute, and also just building your business, okay? The growth and development of your business. Success Club becomes a huge piece of doing that. So hopefully that one's clear. The third place you can get leadership points is by helping your brand new coaches, okay? When you have a 2019 personally sponsored coach who gets 1 Success Club point or more, but just 1, you get an elite point in their first month or first full month. So as an example, if you signed a coach today, here we are, January 8th, you sign a coach today, they have until the end of January or all of February to get 1 point. 1. This is important for a couple of reasons. The first one is it's incredibly important to help your new coaches just get some easy wins. Even just think about discount people, like the preferred membership that we've been talking about for a long time. Let's say you have one of those people come on and they go, wow, I have a friend, right? They decide to join as a preferred member, so they're a coach. I have a friend who wants to do this with me. Great. If that preferred member sells a challenge pack to their friend who's going to come and join them, they're going to get a commission, which is going to give them some confidence and help them understand, whoa, there's like a little bit of something here. And maybe I should take a closer look at how this business works, because I just made a little bit of money for doing what? Just sharing what I'm already doing. And they're going to get 2 Success Club points, which is going to get you a leadership point here. Can you see how this works? It's about helping your new coaches. The other thing that I think is really kind of cool about it is it creates an incentive for you to sign up coaches early in the month. Okay. A lot of times people wait until the end of the month, and they usually do that because they're kind of scrambling to make Success Club. Don't run your business like that. It's stressful. It's not fun. Like, you know, SC 10 by the 10th is always like a good goal, right? If you hit Success Club 10 by the 10th, the rest of the month, you can focus on other things in this business, helping your team grow, right? Check that thing off as quickly as possible. Same thing here. You sponsor a new coach. When you sponsor a new coach early in the month, like today on the 8th, now they have all of January and all of February to do it. If you sponsor them on the 28th, they've only got a couple of days in January and then all of February. So you give them the greatest opportunity if you sign them up early in the month. Hopefully that one makes sense. Next, your personally sponsored coach leaders. Again, we're focused on your personally sponsored coaches. Again, money is the weak leg volume kind of makes up for this. There's a lot of focus on personally sponsored coaches. I think in some ways that's flawed, but in others, it really will help you build your business. And in the beginning, as you're getting this thing going, you're really relying on your personally sponsored coaches because they don't have a lot of people underneath them who are the real winners. But I just want to reiterate again, you've got people who are really good below you, work with them. All right. Oh, sorry. I jumped ahead there. The slides are out of order. Here's the leadership points. Okay. Here's the leadership points. For a team builder, you need 25 leadership points. You need to be a diamond and have 25 leadership points. And for team leader, 1 star, 50 points. For premier leader and elite, the point requirements are higher, but you also see the little number 2 next to them. That's because there's maximums from each category. So in team builder, right, to be a team builder or a team leader, you could get all of your points from the APV requirement. Again, if you just sponsor a bunch of coaches and sign up a bunch of customers here in 2019, that's totally doable. Totally doable. All right, to get all the points from just that one category. None of your personally sponsored people ever get a Success Club point, which is not going to happen if you're growing this business, right? But you could. If you're going to be premier, there's some limits. All right, you can only get 50 of the 75 points from the APV. You can only get 50 from that personally sponsored coaches hitting Success Club, and you can only get 25 from the new coach who gets 1 Success Club point in their first month or first full month. All right, and with elite, it's the same thing. There's limitations. I'm not going to really dive into that because if you're shooting for a premier or elite, I'm sort of expecting that you're going to get a hold of me and you're going to have some questions and we're going to talk about it. I really am more focused on the team leader and team builder levels, which are requirements to become premier and elite anyway. So I think if you're smart here, you don't get too wrapped up in, oh my gosh, how am I ever going to get more points out of these other categories because I can max it. Don't get wrapped up in that. First thing, hit team builder. Let's just focus on that. Then the next thing, we'll hit team leader, right? That'll set you up for elite. Now, if you wait until October, it's not going to happen. You might be able to hit team builder and maybe even team leader, depending on your point accumulation. But really the best thing you can do, boom, hit team builder, get that first level taken care of, and then focus on hitting team leader, right? And that's going to set you up for premier. Odds are your points are going to be spaced out. This point requirement max out really is designed to, it's really designed to sort of say to the big time retailer people, we're going to require you to build a team. That's really what that's about. Okay. For those people, the FAQ is 8079. All right. You really want to dive into this thing and to work out, great. I'm going to tell you the best strategy is probably just to fight for team builder first. So we'll go through that again in a minute. All right, so here's where the slides were reversed. Personally sponsored coach leaders. Again, this is important, and here's an important thing, new, all right? That's new for 2019. You need to develop some personally sponsored coach leaders who rank advance for the first time in 2019. I'm gonna show you that in just a second, but that's really what this is about, all right? So for a team builder, you have to be a diamond coach, you need 25 leaders, and you need a new PS Emerald. Now, I think, right, so you see the number 3 there next to leaders. Go down to the bottom. These are not new coaches. You could advance a coach from 2016 to Emerald for the first time. Now, if they've already been Emerald, then they're not eligible for this. They have to hit the rank for the first time. But when they signed up is irrelevant. Okay, so again, if you've got coaches from 2016, 17 who wake up and want to start to do this thing and they hit any of these requirements, great. That's great. That counts. So when you see for Premier, for example, right, you need to be a 2-star, 75 leadership points, 1 personally sponsored diamond. That does not have to be a 2019 coach. I just want to make that clear because I think sometimes people see that and they go, oh my gosh, I have to sign up a new person, teach them how to do this, and advance them to diamond, by the end of the year. No, it can be an older coach. So I just want to make sure that everybody really gets that. This is important here. Also, team leader, I want to just touch on that really quickly. Here's why this stacks, okay? The stacks. If you are a 1-star, you can advance a new diamond, which would get you to 1-star. If you're currently a diamond coach, or maybe you're just an Emerald trying to get to diamond, right? Hit diamond, now you're building towards team builder, right? Next thing, you can either get to 1-star by having, somebody reactivate, maybe would be probably the way you get there, or building a new diamond, or you can personally sponsor 2 Emerald coaches. One of the things to understand about this business, and I'm really glad they did it this way, is that this business is really built with an army of Emerald coaches. Emerald, 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 Emerald. Why? Emeralds are stable. They're making money. It may not be a lot of money, but they're making some money. People don't leave when they're making money. Okay, that should be your number one thing just to remember here. People don't leave when they're making money. So what do? Help them make some money and they'll stay. All right. Emerald coaches tend to make more than a regular coach, which means they're going to stay around longer, which means there's more stability in your organization. Emerald coaches also tend to do things like going to Summit. What happens when they go to Summit? Well, I could sit here for a couple hours and tell you all the stories of all the people on our team, including myself, who went to Summit and caught fire. That's really where the fire happened for me. I went to Summit and I was like, I'm going to crush this business. So many people along the way have done that. Emerald coaches have a tendency to do things like that, which means what? They become business builders more often than just a regular coach. So, and you need them to advance in rank. It's just the simple truth. So hopefully that's clear. New first-time rank doesn't have to be a 2019 coach. It needs to be the first time they hit that rank in 2019. Hopefully that's clear. I hope you guys are posting questions. I can't see them right now. But if you've got questions about any of this stuff, we're going to circle back before I do the goal setting thing, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. Weak leg volume, one of my favorite topics. I'm so glad that this is a part of the requirements. When they added this, I think people's attitude changed. For a while, the elite program was really about how much stuff you could sell and how many coaches you could sign up. And they add the weak leg requirement, and all of a sudden, people are making money. Why? You have to have volume in order to make money. It's just the way it is. It's the reality of this business. You have to build volume underneath you. So here's what the weak leg, and this is kind of what this slide is saying, basically, that if you have weak leg volume, you're going to make more money. How is this calculated? The computers are constantly looking at your weak leg. We'll talk about that in just a sec. But they're constantly looking at your weak leg. They're looking for any consecutive 5-week period where you hit the requirement. And I'll show you the requirements in just a sec. That's how it's working now. It's constantly watching your business going, okay, week 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 in a row, boom, you're a team builder, for example, right? Then it's constantly watching, and maybe there's some crossover, right? Where you hit 5 consecutive weeks at the team builder requirement. Meanwhile, the last 2, you're also hitting team leader, and then it goes in the next 3, oh, boom, you're a team leader now, okay? 5 consecutive weeks though. What is this weak leg volume thing? I like this slide. So basically we all have 2 teams. If you're kind of new, this is how this business is built. We all have 2 teams. One of them is invariably stronger than the other. Now, in the situation, in the sort of scenario we've got here, it's not a whole lot stronger, right? 16 versus 1,000. And this is a snapshot of 1 week. It's entirely possible that the following week, what you're seeing as the strong leg, the 1,600 leg, flips and it becomes the weak leg. doesn't matter. The computer's not saying, oh, okay, left is weak for week 1, so we're only going to look at left. It's not going to do that. It's just going to look at the weaker of the 2 legs every single week. And if you hit the minimum requirement for 5 consecutive weeks, even if it's bouncing back and forth between the 2 legs, you're going to hit that. Okay. So what you need to do is you need to say, okay, I need to increase my weak leg team volume points by the amount here. If it flip-flops, that's okay. That's sort of rare, but it does happen. It definitely happens where it flip-flops around, and especially when you're new. When you're new, there's not a lot of stability, and that's one of the things that we really encourage people to do is build some stability. You do that again that's one of the things about Emeralds. Emeralds build a lot of stability in your business. All right, where do you find this? You find it under Monitor My Business, or you can go to the dashboard. Actually, this is just the dashboard right here under Volume, and it's going to tell you. You can also find it under Monitor My Business, and there's a Team Volume thing. But this My Team Volume is where you're going to look, and it's just going to show you here in this example. And again, this is a single week. You got 0 and 555. Guess what that means? It means you have 0 points in your weak leg. So this person needs to get busy building that weak leg volume. The strong leg doesn't really matter for purposes of this calculation. Okay, we're only focused on the weak leg. Why? Because the weak leg is really what defines how many team cycles you make and therefore how much money you make. So you've got to build that weak leg volume to offset volume on the strong leg. I can go into that more on another call maybe. Okay, how many points do you need to be a team builder? You need to have 1,000 points in your weak leg for 5 consecutive weeks. Okay, team leader, it's 2,500. Premier, 5,000. Elite, 5,000 as well. If this seems a little daunting to you, don't freak out. Okay, maybe it doesn't. Maybe you're looking at it. It doesn't to me. But again, I've been doing this for 11 years. If you're kind of new and you're like, oh my gosh, I've only got whatever a couple hundred points in my weak leg, that's okay. That's okay. Focus on hitting these other requirements. Focus on building your business, which is really the advice I'm about to give you. Let this play out, okay? Let this play out, but that's what you're looking for. On that first level, right, is 1,000 points a week in the weak leg. Now, if you're kind of close to that, what do you need to do? Well, you need to add some more people to your weak leg, and you need to help the people who are there. Another important point here. Weak leg volume is not based on your personally sponsored coaches, okay? Weak leg volume is everybody. This is why I keep pounding on this thing of when you have people who are solid, even if they're not personally sponsored to you, you work with those people and get them engaged with me. I work with a lot of people who are not personally sponsored to us. Why? They drive volume. That's just that simple. They drive volume, and volume is what this business is really, really based on. All this stuff about rank and everything else, that's all great. And a lot of that stuff is important, but volume is what defines how much money you make more than anything else. Okay, now back to this thing. Okay, again, I just wanted to show you this again because a lot of times I think when I first saw this, I was like, I don't understand, but now I do. Your first milestone is team builder, right? So again, if you're a diamond coach, you need to just look at these point requirements. Let's go back. If you're a diamond coach or you're close to diamond, you're pushing for diamond right now, that should be your number one focus, is hitting diamond coach to check off that rank requirement for a team builder, right? Then you start looking at, okay, I need to advance a new emerald coach. Okay, now you may need to do that to become a diamond anyway. It depends, right? I don't know where you're at necessarily. That's one of these things that you've got to look at. But that would be the next thing I would focus on, is advancing a new emerald coach to check off that requirement. Leadership points are going to come. Okay, if you're getting busy and your coaches are getting busy, again, you can get leadership points from your 2018, 2019 coaches making Success Club. You can get leadership points by your 2019 customers and 2019 coaches buying stuff. Just that simple. These two groups of people are just buying stuff. Every time there's 500 points of stuff, you get a point. So leadership points are gonna come. I wouldn't necessarily focus on the leadership points. I would focus on the other things more than I would focus on leadership points. Leadership points are gonna develop over the course of the year. It's also gonna show you where your business is strong and where your business is weak. For example, if you're getting all of your all of your points from that APV category, the one where it's 2019 customers and coaches buying stuff, essentially, and that's where all the points are coming from. There's a problem. There's a problem, and the problem is you're not working with those new PS coaches to help them earn that first Success Club point in their first month or full month. And you're not working with your 2018-19 coaches to help them earn Success Club, right? So we've got a little bit of a leadership gap. I'm pretty good at helping with things like that. And I'm happy to go through it and diagnose with people once you got some point accumulation. Start to see where things come from. Now, it might be the flip. Maybe you're really good at working with those newer personally sponsored coaches and helping them earn Success Club, but you're not making a lot of points from customer sales. Then that's where we got to focus, right? But points will come. I would focus first on Diamond, next on advancing one new Emerald. And again, not a new coach, just the first time they've hit Emerald. And then third, that volume requirement. If you hit that week-like volume requirement, I'm just going to tell you the leadership points will be there. They'll be there. If you're sponsoring new coaches and you're sponsoring new customers, you're going to get points in this category. We should have a lot of team builders this year. We should have a lot of team builders. Another thing, there's some direct correlation for the retreat, right? Like if you're busy and you're hitting Success Club and you're a Diamond coach and you're earning and you're doing 1,000 points of personal volume a month, your coaches are going to do more of that. If they do more of that, you're going to hit these requirements. Okay. So we should have a lot of team builders this year. Again, that's the first thing. So I would get to team builder, get your little team builder trophy here, then focus on team leader. And again, going back, team leader, what would I focus on? Well, am I a 1-star? If I'm not a 1-star, I got to get to 1-star. If I can help somebody who has never been a Diamond before, I'm also checking off that second box there. Okay, then it's about building volume. Well, when you sponsored a Diamond and you've got them focused on this, and you're saying, hey, pay attention to this. Look, you just need to get this many points. If you have a team builder personally sponsored, you've got a really good chance. And I don't want to say I can guarantee it, but if you have a team builder, a personally sponsored team builder next year, and you're probably going to hit the team leader requirements. So what would I do? Well, I'd focus first on getting myself to team builder and then turning around and helping somebody else do it, because they're going to be a Diamond, which means I'm a 1-star. So I check that requirement off. Then, and I check off the new Diamond as well, in all likelihood. And they're going to have 1,000 points a week, which is going to help me get to that 2,500. Hopefully you can see that. And again, the points, the leadership points, I'm not too worried about, because personally sponsored coaches, if they're from 2018 or 19, they're making Success Club. I'm making Success Club. We're all getting the points. The points are accumulating. Points will, again, they're going to get more as we go through the year. As you build a 2019 coach and customer base, the points will increase. So I would focus first on these things, right? And again, Premier, Elite, a little more challenging, right? But it's no different. Even if you're already a 2-star, get your team builder trophy, get your team leader trophy, then zero in. For the Premier leaders, it's probably going to be, the difficult thing is going to be getting the points and getting the week-like volume, right? And again, that's going to build. If you're continuing to grow your business, those things are going to build throughout the year. Let's see. Okay. What do you get? Let's talk about that. Okay. If you're a team builder, you're getting your trophy, obviously, and you're also getting on-stage recognition at the 2020 Summit. As a team builder, there's going to be, you'll have like a little badge on your thing, maybe a little medal. I'm not sure what else they're going to do as far as team builders. Really, you're going to be growing a stable business. And if you hit team builder, you're much more likely to have people in your organization hit team builder. If you think that you can sit back and do nothing in this business and that some unicorn is going to come along and just go ahead and crush it, good luck. I told Monica this when we met last week. Good luck building this business on the back of unicorns. It doesn't happen. What happens is you hit team builder, and then the people on your team go, oh, that must be important. What do I need to do to hit team builder? And then they start to work towards that goal, okay? Which, again, grows your business. If you hit team leader, everything the team builders get, right? Because you're a team builder and a team leader at that point. Plus, you're going to get a Beachbody backpack, right? For Premier, you're going to get some swag, some Premier swag that you can wear around. You're going to get on the floor at Summit. I will tell you, as somebody who's been on the floor at Summit, every year except my first year. Yeah, every year except my first year. It's much more comfortable place to sit. You have a much better view, and it's where all the movers and shakers are. It's a great place to just sort of shake hands and meet people and kind of do that dance. There's also going to be a premier reception on Success Club Trip, small p. I don't know why. That's a typo, I guess, or I just forgot to change the font on that one. Elite, get a lot of stuff for Elite. Obviously, you're an elite coach. That's great marketing, by the way. That's really great marketing. When you can say you're an elite coach and you're in the top, 1% or whatever it is of the business, inspires a lot of confidence for people to follow you into this business and do what you're doing. On-stage recognition, express lane, checkout at the core. If you've ever stood in that line, that sucks. You're going to get a custom jacket. Frontline access to all the workouts. Again, another thing that sucks in waiting in line. An elite evening at Summit, $200 awarded to cover lodging. That's pretty nice. You get some hotel dollars there. 2 VIP seats, the general session celebration at Summit. 2 VIP seats to certain events during the leadership. So we also have a leadership retreat, which would be one of the things you're possibly eligible to qualify for this year as well. Talk about that one in another call. And the elite people get to sit up front, essentially, is what it is. And they also get some extra little perks, including one night's lodging. There's elite reception at the Success Club Trip. Those are always fun. The super trainers are usually there. So that's pretty cool. You get to just sort of hobnob with those folks. And again, when you're an elite coach or a premier coach, really, you get to meet a different level of people. Some of my best friends are people that I met through the elite program. Okay, Josh, Jimmy, Tommy, Mike Ryan, and a whole host of others. I saw one of our coaches, Eliza Mooney, was at the Sean T event and got to meet Sean. And I saw her taking pictures with Melissa McAllister, whose husband Mick I'm going on a ski trip with in a couple of weeks. With Jessica Nelson, who I've known Jessica for years. And how do I know Jessica? I know Jessica through the elite program, right? And what does that mean? Well, that means Jessica's on CAB. And when I have a problem, I can go talk to her and say, hey, what's going on? You wonder how I have all this inside information? It's people that I met through the elite program, right? They become really valuable friends and contacts and success partners. And it's a great place to find them. Also, the top 200 coaches are going to get $100 a month. And the top 200, there's a monetary bonus there. I'm trying to figure out, that's worded weird. This is in the FAQ. Oh, $100 per qualifying month. I see. $400 per qualifying month for a total of $500 per qualifying month. Right. Okay. So if you're in the top 200, there's a chance to get some bonuses. Okay. I'm going to bounce back really quickly to the group chat and just see what's going on. Okay. Let me just take a sip, hit refresh, and see if we have questions. Yeah, okay. A couple of things, just a general sort of comments about a little overwhelmed. I know. Okay, I know. That's why I'm gonna lay out a plan here in just a second for you. Where I think it's the easiest to get lost is the leadership points. If you get lost there, now you're probably not going to get unlost. Okay. Do not get lost there. Okay. That's a little bit of a wasteland. That what I'm going to encourage you to do instead is just get to work and start to see how the points accumulate. Okay. Again, start to see how the points accumulate. They're going to tell you a lot about your business. Okay. The leadership points, again, it's really pretty simple. The first one is acquisition, personal volume. Okay, what that means is that your 2019 customers and 2019 coaches, every time they buy stuff, all those sales go into the bucket. Every time there's 500 points in the bucket, you get a leadership point. Okay, so how are you going to track that? You're not. I don't track that because I'd spend more time tracking it than it would ever be worth. What do? I just look, am I getting points there? If I'm not getting points there, what that's telling me is I'm not having new customers, is what it tells me most of all. Right now, if I have new coaches, right, or it's actually telling you both. Like you're not having, maybe it's customers, maybe it's coaches. you can look at that one really easily. I mean, that's just one of those things. I'm not getting any APV points. Why not? Well, have you signed up new customers? Yeah, I've signed up a ton of new customers. How about new coaches? No, I haven't signed up any new coaches. Okay, well, then that's probably where we have a problem, right? The second place you can get the leadership points is when your personally sponsored coaches from this year or last year make Success Club. Okay, now if you're not getting any points there, that's going to tell you something about your business. It's going to tell you you're not teaching people how to do this thing. All right, you're just signing them up. Right? You're getting APV points because you're signing up coaches, but they're not getting a Success Club point in their first month, which is the third category. And they're not making Success Club at all. That's going to tell you something about your business, and it's going to help you adjust, right? If I was in that situation where I'm getting points from customers, right, but I'm not getting points from my personally sponsored, newer personally sponsored coaches, I got to look at that and I got to go, how am I not teaching these people how to do this thing, right? Am I only sponsoring preferred members, for example? Is that all I'm doing is going out and telling people, hey, get a 25% discount, period, the end. That might get you some APV points, but it's not going to help you in the other requirements. And it's really not going to help you build weak leg volume, okay? These things all tie in. What I'm really saying here is that the leadership points are something that you're going to have to like build. And it's also something that I just want to encourage you, do not get lost in the details and go, I don't understand it, I'm not doing this, and walk away. Don't do that, okay? Just get busy. Just get busy. And then circle back after the first quarter. And that's what I'm going to talk about in just a second here. Circle back after the first quarter and go, okay, where am I strong? Push hard on that. And where am I weak? And how do I improve? Okay? If the most likely scenario, quite frankly, is that you're getting a lot of points from new customers and new coaches because you're signing up these preferred member people, right? Discount coaches. They're not making Success Club, so you're not getting any points there. And they're not getting a Success Club point in their first thing because you're not signing up business builders or you're not helping people grow into that role. How do you help people grow into that role? I sort of mentioned it earlier, but this is what, like, Suzanne Burkhalter is one of the coaches I'm working with now. And Suzanne has done a really good job of saying to these new preferred members, do you know anybody who wants to do this with you? Do you know anybody who wants to do this with you? And if they say, yes, my sister, my cousin, my aunt, whatever, that's kind of the examples that have come up with her family members for whatever reason. She says, great, you're a coach. I'm not going to take that sale. You take that sale. And then she shows them how to use Share a Cart. And they go out and they make a sale. Well, what does that get them? If it's a challenge pack, it gets them 2 Success Club points. She's going to get elite points in that category because she's just showing preferred members how to do that one thing. Boom, get a quick point, sign a coach. What happens when that happens is that new coach all of a sudden goes from somebody who was just going to get 25% discount and starts to say, wow, I made a whatever, $40, $50 commission depending on the product, right? I made a couple of bucks doing this. That's crazy. That was easy. All I did was go talk to a friend about joining me on my fitness challenge, and I sent them an email. It's pretty easy. Anybody can do that. And it's starting to inspire confidence in the people that she's bringing into the business. This is super easy, right? She's going to clean up on the APV, and she's going to get points in those other 2 Success Club categories just by doing that, right? Along the way, a few of those people are just going to become business builders. That's just the way this thing grows. So that's, don't get lost in leadership points. Focus on the other requirements first. So let's go back to my PowerPoint presentation. So proud of my PowerPoints. Okay, so the plan. I just kind of gave it to you. Set a goal is first. Second, really understand the requirements for the goal. And then set some first quarter milestones and track your progress and points. I'm going to talk about that in a second. I've got some resources that I think will help you with that. Let's go back to the requirements. Okay, again, if Premier is my goal, I know that I'm going to have to hold 2-star for 6 consecutive weeks. Okay, and I need to sponsor 2 personally sponsored diamond, and then I've got the week leg volume requirements, and then all the points. Again, I'm not worried about the points for the first quarter. Not worried about that. What am I worried about? Becoming a team builder. That's if you're going for Premier here, which I think is kind of where most people are looking, elite seems a little too far away. Trust me, it's not. But if that seems a little like a bridge too far, shoot for Premier. And I can also promise you that if you come up a little bit short on Premier, you're still going to make a lot of money this year. You're still going to do really well. Okay, which should be the number one thing you should have a goal for is income. You know, if that's what you want to get out of this thing. Walking across stage is great. Sitting on the floor is great. Having the swag, that's great. None of that stuff gets you paid. Okay, none of that stuff pays your rent or your car payment or puts money in your kid's college account or does whatever it is that is important to you here. That's what you should be focused on. If you can build your week-leg volume, that's going to happen. Okay, that's what this is designed to do, by the way. It's designed to help you make more money. So back, I'm a Premier. Premier is my goal, right? I know by the end of the year, I got to hold 2-star for 6 consecutive weeks. Okay, which means I rank to 2-star, which also means I get to open a second business center, which is a nice little perk. And one of the reasons you should shoot for Premier. If all you do is hit 2-star and you fall short on one of the other requirements, you still get to open a second business center. That still is going to set you up for next year to hit these requirements. Because now that week leg volume might be coming from your own activity in your second business center. All right. So back to the thing. I want to be a Premier coach. I know I got to hit 2-star, right? So, but I'm not necessarily trying to hit 2-star the first week in January, right? Because this thing is going to build. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say for the first quarter, the first 3 months of the year, my goal is to become a team builder. That's my goal. All right. Now, fall a little short of that. Okay, great. You need to reassess at the end of the first quarter. That's how you've got to start to think about this business, okay, is quarter by quarter. What are my goals over the first quarter? So you need to look at it. You need to kind of go, okay, in order to be a team builder, where am I gonna fall short? I need 25 points in the first quarter. You see how if you can get 25 points in the first quarter, you're probably gonna get 75 points over the course of the year. You should get 100 points, right? If you hit those averages. Now, 25 points is a little bit lofty in the first quarter of the year. Why? Because again, as I mentioned, the points build as you start to accumulate more customers and more coaches in that 2019 bucket, you get more and more points. But if you could get 25 points and be a diamond coach in the first quarter of the year, depending on where your volume's at, you're in a really good position to be able to move forward, right? That would be my first quarter goal, is just hitting team builder. I'm not even going to set goals for the second or third or fourth quarter because I need to see where I'm at after the first quarter. That's really, I think, one of the biggest things that you can do to help yourself grow this business, okay, is to set quarter by quarter goals. Like you have an annual goal. The annual goal, let's say it's Premier, all right? My annual goal is Premier. That means my first quarter goal is to hit team builder, get that team builder trophy checked off. You would be shocked. I'm telling you, you will be shocked by the momentum and the confidence that gives you, that if you can do that. The outside world is not going to know what that means, okay? So using that as marketing, I don't think there's a whole lot of, people will do that, and I think it's fine, but I don't think it means anything because I don't think people understand what that means. It's for you. If you can hit these milestones, it starts to give you the confidence that you can hit the next one. You become an Emerald coach. Wow, now Diamond doesn't seem so far away, right? You start to hit Success Club every month. Now Success Club 10 All-Star, Legend, doesn't seem that far away, right? If you could hit Team Builder in the first quarter, you're totally set up for Premier. Now, what if your goal is Team Builder, right? I would focus on, my focus would be on building new customers and new coaches, 2019 customers, 2019 coaches. Don't worry about how many points you get from them. Just worry about, boom, adding customers, adding coaches, adding customers, adding coaches, adding customers, adding coaches. If your goal is team builder for the year, I would just put my head down in the first quarter and do that. All right. If your goal is elite, it's a little bit different, right? You need to start building some diamonds. You have to have 2 new diamonds and you have to be a 5-star. So you need to have a diamond. I would say at least 1 diamond, probably just 1 diamond in the first quarter. And again, that doesn't have to be a 2019 person. It can be an older person. It just has to be the first time that they rank up to diamond. All right. And that's where I would set my goals. Well, then what? Then after the first quarter, the end of March, I'm going to sit down And I'm going to say, okay, how'd I do? How'd I do? Again, if I hit that team builder goal, that's a huge confidence booster. What's the next goal? Team leader, team leader. But we'll circle back with those things. And what I want to encourage you guys to do in all seriousness is contact me, contact me. And first of all, questions about any of this stuff, post them here so that we can kind of track all the questions, and we'll have one little resource where it becomes like a little FAQ sort of a thing. Also, go look at the FAQ before you ask me questions. But more importantly, I want you to come back, towards the end of the first quarter, if you have these goals, and let's talk about how you're doing, and let's talk about where the points are coming from, because you're going to see the point breakdown. The point breakdown is going to show you have this many points from the APV requirement, the new 2019 customers and coaches. You have this many points from your personally sponsored coaches making Success Club. You have this many points from new coaches who get one Success Club point. It's one Success Club point. You just need to help them make a sale, and you're going to get a point there. And so that is going to give you a really good snapshot of what's going on in your business. And it's going to, in all honesty, show you the vulnerabilities and the weaknesses. That's such a great opportunity to just get better, to just figure it out and be like, okay, I'm not doing something well. How do I get better at that? Right? How do I recover? Maybe you are great at teaching people and you're great at leading people, but you're not very good at customer acquisition. Okay, well, we can work with that. That's the easiest thing to do, honestly. The more likely scenario is you're sponsoring customers and maybe even new coaches. They're not producing, okay? That's the more likely scenario. I can help with that too, okay? We have a lot of training that's available. Sometimes people just aren't getting their new coaches engaged with the training. If you're not getting people trained here, how can you expect them to really do this thing? If you're not getting them engaged with our weekly team calls, with the national wake-up call, with going to Summit, you can't expect them to do something they don't know how to do. That's our job as sponsors, is to teach people how to do this business. That's why I spend as much time as I do doing stuff like this, because I know it's one of the most important things I can do to help you guys grow. Maybe not for you. Some of you guys sat back on this call and kind of went, yeah, I know all that. Do your people know all that? Probably not. One of the things I've really had to come to terms with towards the end of last year and this year for sure is that we need to go back and teach more of the basics, because I think at some point we assumed that everyone knew how to do this thing, and they don't, because maybe you're brand new. How would you know how to do it? Really dumb of me to make that assumption, but that's part of leadership as well. I'm going to flip over, check for questions. Whoopsie. Check for questions and see. Yeah, that's a good comment, Mike. Don't just, being overwhelmed is a choice. What Mike was just saying is, like, as a founding coach, sometimes these requirements trip him up, and yeah, like, whoopsie, sorry, got the echo as I went to go for comments. It's true, and that's why I break it down, right? And there's, I'm going to post some other stuff, and there's going to be a little tracker sheet that I'm going to show you that I think is a little busy. For me, it's too busy. I'll say that. It's good, and it tracks all the requirements, and it will give you a place. I would probably take it and redo it just to make it less busy. This is what in the 6 years where we went elite, I'd have these things on a whiteboard. I just wouldn't have all this stuff. Like, for me, that's so busy that it just, like, I don't even want to go near it. But if I just had a thing that said, January, what was my APV? January, how many points did I get from personally sponsored coaches who made Success Club? How many points did I get from a new coach who makes one Success Club point rather in their first month? How many points total, right? So I've just got a little tally, and I do this on a whiteboard. Just got a little tally of how many points I had in January. I'm looking at my week leg volume, and I'm saying, okay, averaging out, okay, I'm, where am I at on the week leg volume requirements for January? Maybe I already hit it. In my case, with the business that's 11 years old, 1,000 points a week is, it's easy. I hit that in the first 5 weeks I'll check that off. Quite frankly, I check all the categories off. then I'm then looking at, okay, so those points and there's my volume. Where's my rank is the next thing I'm sort of thinking about. Okay, where's my rank? I know if I want to be a team builder, which is my first requirement, I got to be a diamond coach. I'm a diamond coach. Okay, so I can check that one off, right? But if you're not a diamond coach, that should be your first thing that you're focused on doing, right? How do you do that? Keep adding people to your team. What happens when you add people to your team? You get more leadership points. Okay, these things all build on each other is the thing. And again, what I think is great about the program, okay, and the reason that I continue to promote the program, even though I wish that there were some monetary rewards tied to it, quite frankly, I really do, beyond just the top 200 people, is because what it requires you to do is gain an in-depth knowledge of your business and how it works, and it's sort of how these things all factor in together. You know, you advance in rank to diamond, which means you're personally sponsoring coaches, so you're getting leadership points, which means they're building weak leg volume, and it all combined together leads to a business that's productive and makes some money. Okay, let me go back to questions. I think that's a good comment. Don't get overwhelmed. Being overwhelmed is a choice, which is what I really want to say. Leslie, to answer your question of whether I'm going on the trip, it kind of depends on the trip and where it is and what's going on at that time of year. So I don't know yet. Am I going this year? No, I'm not going this year. Cruises don't. How do I put this? I'm super claustrophobic. I just tell you, it's straight up. I'm super claustrophobic, and the cruises really just trigger a lot of unhealthy things for me. It's just not a lot of fun, frankly. I love being around everybody. And I really do. It's the one thing that sort of saves it, is that I just love being around everybody. But the cruises make me I just feel trapped, and I just don't, being self-aware, it's something I encourage people to do over and over again. And you have to put yourself in situations that are healthy for you. It's just not a healthy situation for me. It's just frankly, I've been on 3, and I feel like I need therapy when I get back. It's like going to New York City. It's the same thing. And my little brother is stationed just outside of Tokyo in the Navy right now. And he's like, come visit, we'll go to Tokyo. And I'm like, no. Can we go to the mountains? I could do that. Like, that's just me though. I still have my little quirks. We're constantly working on the little things, right? But I would encourage you to connect with people who are. Okay, I think that's it for questions. Just want to really encourage you guys to dig in with this a little bit. If you need to watch this call a couple of times, I think that's great. I would really encourage you to check out the FAQ, and in whatever way you can, to have some sort of a tracking sheet. I actually might go through and just simplify this thing. I think it's good. And again, I'll post a link to this in the comments, and then we'll create like a whole web page with this call, where we'll have all the little resources will be up on FCN Coach Training, probably by the end of the week, maybe early next week, we'll see. But it's just, for me, very busy. It's a good resource. This is the Elite and Premier Goal Guide, by the way, which you can find in the back office, but I'll link you to it. I've got all the links and everything. Mike Kerpinka was kind enough to send all that stuff to me. Thanks, Mike. But it's just busy. And I think for me, the way my brain works, it's kind of like the claustrophobia thing. I need no clutter, right? Like no clutter. My office is a total mess because I just got back from this trip to Utah. And I'm like, no, the next thing I'm doing as soon as I finish this call, which is right now, is cleaning my office, because I thrive in environments that are orderly and clean. And to me, this is a great resource. It's just a little busy, and I don't like busy. I like simple. So maybe I'll create something. I'm going to take a look at that. First, I got a lot of laundry to do, and I need to clean my office. And then maybe I can clear my mind and be a little bit more productive. We'll see about that. So anyway, that's it for today. Thanks, everybody, for your time. And again, get busy. Set some first quarter goals. Get busy. See where you're at the end of the first quarter, okay? And if you need to reassess. You might find that you're ahead of schedule. And, maybe you set your sights on that team leader thing, and all of a sudden you check off team builder, and team leader doesn't seem so far away, and you start to think maybe premier. So that can happen too. But I open yourself up to those possibilities. Set some big goals. That's one of the best things I think I ever did, was really just reach for some ridiculous stuff that seemed ridiculous at the time. And then all of a sudden I started to figure out it's just not that ridiculous. It's just kind of right there if you do the work. So that's it for today. Thanks for your time. Talk to you guys later.